sermon series where we are looking at 7 statements that Jesus makes in John's Gospel, where he says, I am the bread of life, or the light of the world, or the good shepherd. And there's 7 of them. We've done 3 of them up till now, and I did an introduction to the series, and then an introduction to the series, and then we started on these 7. So we've done a few more traditional kind of sermons, if you like, and one of the things that we're finding is that it can be helpful just to stop and have a bit more of a reflective space where we reflect on what we're learning. And so Kirsty's going to introduce this and lead us in a reflective meditation. Would that be the right word this morning? So we'll do this for about the next half an hour or something, and then move into just some extended sung worship towards the end of this morning. So, Kirsty, over to you.
Right. Okay. I thought I was going to stand and sit, but I'll maybe stand. Can we have the slide up from the... So we've had 3 sermons on this sort of I Am series, and I'm just going to sort of slightly recap on them so we've got sort of sense of them. And I do apologise that my recap may not be the same as somebody else's recap, so apologies to the sermon givers. So the Gospel of John is a book that seems to be, in one of the things is asking, who is Jesus? And there's these 7 I am statements. And the whole idea of I am is taking us back to that kind of burning bush moment with Moses and God introducing himself as I am who I am. And the sense that Jesus is identifying himself as and with God. So we've had... So one of the things that Andrew said, we've done, I am the bread of life, I am the light of the world, I am the way and the truth and the life. And I've I think we quite clearly, this is light and bread, and this is actually a picture of Moses, but there's a sense of Jesus often identifies himself with, that image of Moses was quite strong for Jesus. So that's the image there. One of the things that Andrew was saying is that Jesus is saying through this I am the biggest thing in the room. And I think that's quite a powerful statement, quite interesting statement. When counsellors sometimes work with Russian dolls, I don't know if you remember the stacking Russian dolls that go from big to small. We quite often ask somebody to place the dolls in a family setup or a situation they're in, and it's interesting how they might take, how they position the small and the big. And sometimes the issues that they're facing, or a person who's been difficult in life, looms very big, so they took the biggest doll there and themselves maybe as small or whatever. And you can see how they've elevated somebody to huge, or an issue as huge and small, and it's quite effective. And sometimes, say, well, what if God was here? Where would he be, and what size would he be? And I think if you can imagine in situations where you're feeling small, you imagine you take the biggest doll there is and put that doll in, and that's God. And that, how does that change your perspective on all of this? So I love this idea that Jesus is saying, I am the biggest thing in the room, beyond anything else. The bread of life, as Rupert, very quick summary of this is a sign. It's linking back to the manna in the desert. They were saying, well, God gave us the manna in the desert as a sign. What sign are you giving? And Jesus went, I am the sign I am the sign. And I was thinking about the wilderness. If you were in the wilderness and thousands of people were walking through the wilderness where there was absolutely nothing to eat, there was no way of creating food from around your surroundings. Do you imagine that every morning you woke up and there was food on the ground in place there was nothing? What an amazing statement of saying, I'm here for you every day. You're going to wake up and I'm here for you. I feel like Jesus is saying something about being who he is to us in our wildernesses. And it's something I think Rupert brought on about eating the bread is about leaning in, trusting, leaning back into Jesus. Malcolm spoke about the light of the world. The light is our source of life. It helps us to see clearly. It helps us to overcome the darkness. Or light overcomes the darkness. And Andrew spoke on the way and the truth and life. And the way being, he's showing us how to be. How was Jesus? He's showing us our patterns, how to follow him, to be like he is, to let go, this pattern of letting go and of laying down. The truth, he is grounded and he is trustworthy and he is life, he is synergy and energy. So we're going to do a bit of a meditation, and that's a lot of themes to think out. So I'll try to sort of bring those in, but I wonder what you need Jesus to be for you, something in the wilderness, an offering to you in your wilderness, or someone to lean into, someone to show to give you a light, to show something up more clearly, to give you a source of something of life. What do you need to let go of? Do you need to sense him as being grounded and trustworthy, or that kind of life-giving energy? So we're going to, I will need my bit of paper. I'm going to do some imaginative exercises, so we're going to invite you to sort of, we're going to imagine that we sit down with Jesus and meet Jesus. I'm going to talk you through it. So it would be good if we could just, and then we're going to be some silence and just time to reflect. So just, if you invite you to sit, the contemplative masters always go, sit comfortable yet alert. So if you can find that position in your life, that's often put your feet on the ground so you feel the ground underneath your feet. Feel the chair holding you. Feel held by the chair and the floor and the earth and by God. Maybe just focus on your breath. Just take a few breaths. And breathe. Notice as your breath enters your body, notice what it's like when it leaves your body. So you can just sort of let go of the busyness of your mind. Just breathe in and breathe out as you're held by the chair and the floor. We're grounded in here and now in this moment where God is. And I'm just going to invite you to use your imaginations. Can you imagine that Jesus comes and he sits beside you? You may have to get the other people to move out the way in your imagination, you don't have to do it. And create a seat beside you, and he's going to sit down beside you. Jesus sits beside you. What does that feel like? Just notice how you feel. It may feel uncomfortable. Or if it does, that's fine. Just notice. Nothing is right or wrong here. Just notice how you feel as he sits beside you. It may feel comforting, it may feel maybe annoyed with him about something. It's fine. We're just going to notice how we are. So Jesus sits beside you. And then as you just allow him to sit, allow your feelings just to be as they are. We're going to invite Jesus to offer you something. Is he offering himself to you as bread, as something you need right now in your wilderness place? Is he offering you a light to shine in a dark place, or to offer some life? Is he saying, trust me in something, lean into me? Is he suggesting you let go of something? Is he just offering you himself as a trustworthy presence? Is there some life that he's offering you? So just sit with those. And it may be something completely different, but just sit with Jesus. We're going to take 5 minutes just to sit. I know that's a long time in silence, but if your mind goes, just bring it back to the ground, to your chair, to your breath, and to Jesus, who just sits and patiently, there's no hurry. And if nothing comes and you just enjoy sitting with Jesus, that's absolutely fine. Or if it's just noticing how you are with him, that's absolutely fine too. But maybe he's got something specific to offer and say in this moment in time. I am here. I am the biggest thing in your room, in this room. I am the biggest thing in your life. So I'm just going to allow that to sit for a few minutes. See where it takes you. Just want to thank you, Jesus, that you are the biggest thing in our lives and the biggest thing in our rooms and that you offer to yourself daily. You offer yourself to us daily, momentarily, moment to moment. Amen. Okay, thank you for sitting with that. I know silence isn't always the most comfortable place to be. Rupert, what do you think? Do we have time? We could do just for a few minutes. If anybody wants to open up to any comment on that reflection, we'll just, for a few minutes, we'll just open the mic up for something, for people to share, and then we'll move into worship if no one's got anything. That's fine. I know that I felt Jesus was offering himself to me as trustworthy and grounded, and I wasn't particularly aware that's what I needed to hear, but I realise in all the tumultuousness of the world, I just needed to sit with him feeling that he is trustworthy and he is grounded and he's okay. That was really helpful.
I felt my friend was sitting next to me. My friend, the one who means well, loves me. The one who is powerful, strong. The biggest thing in the room. My friend.
Sorry, Evie, I didn't see you.
So I had like kind of a couple ideas kind of fling through my head. The first picture when you asked for Jesus to sit next to you was, have you ever seen the film Soul? In the movie Soul, there's this bit where they go into this like kind of alternate universe, and all of the characters who live there don't have any physical descriptions or anything. They're all just kind of these glowing outlines of people, and like kind of just shining and glimmering. And that was kind of the initial picture, just kind of this glowing, shining figure coming and sitting next to me, and not like towering over me or anything, but coming and sitting in just exactly the same way I was sat, and just sitting next to me and being like, oh yeah, look here. I'm sat next to you as well. And then in the wilderness, I kept expecting to have this, I think some big wisdom is about to fall upon my life and everything's going to change. And really what I saw was Jesus kind of run up to me and go, ready, set, go, and just start running, and just started going. And he was like, why are you stopping? Let's just go, let's just do it. And this joy and this fun just come out of them, and just an expression of, let's move together, let's run together. Instead of this big wise figure that's like, yes, here is all of this wisdom, and now go and sit and think about that for ages. Just this passionate rush of adrenaline that was encouraging me just to start running.
Oh, lovely, thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else want to say something, Elspeth?
I was just remembering, I don't know if it was in the intro to the intro or the intro, but there was a thought about the I am statement about being in the present, and that God is offering us this meeting place in the present. And I found that really quite, changing for me how I approach this meeting space with God, I think. And I think today in that, realising quite how patient that presence of Jesus was for me, and quite how uncoercive it was. There wasn't a sense of being given or having something taken, but a sort of offering of, would you like me to, to do this for you? Or, could I take some of that? I think for me, particularly feeling the sense of weightedness. Would you like me to carry that for you for a while? Just how patient that was, and how much of an offering it was. It wasn't anybody micromanaging me. It was very much that gentle. I know we talked a lot about that uncoerciveness of Jesus in sort of the previous series, and that was really my experience today. Yeah.
Thank you. Helen?
For me, it was welcome, Jesus coming to sit next to me, and it was really, really simple thing. It was just that this isn't complicated at all. There's just nothing complicated about this. The closer you are to my heart, the closer you are to one another, and there's just no choice or difficulty or challenge about this. It's just, as you draw to me, I felt Jesus saying to me, this is for everyone, and it's, there's no nothing complex about it. And that was just really beautiful for me.
Lovely. Thank you guys so much for sharing what happened for you in that moment. We're going to move on, and I think Rupert's going to just introduce the band again. And